Hey everybody, how's it going? B Temple back again, and today we are going to do something a little bit different. This will actually be my first civilian ration, I guess is the best way to put it. What we have for you today is something called the No Worries ration pack from a company called Backcountry Cuisine, which is actually made in New Zealand. So it'll be my first sort of New Zealand item, I suppose, aside from some of the components that would have been found in a Australian CR1M ration that would have, had some components made in Australia and some components made in New Zealand. But what we have here is basically a backpacker's outdoor, camping, whatever you want to call it, kind of meal pack. So it's the first sort of non-military ration I've done. And I got this particular ration from a good buddy of mine by the name of Luke in Australia. We did a trade together, and I got some really great stuff. I also got a commercial version of an Australian CR1M called a Hunger Buster. There's been a few reviews of that online. This particular one, this No Worries ration pack, has never actually been reviewed on YouTube before. There have been at least one review of, say, a 24-hour Backcountry Cuisine review, but that was done 4 years ago or so by one of the greats in the ration review community, Kiwi Dude, who hasn't been active for over a year or so. But if you're looking for a 24-hour review of Backcountry Cuisine, he reviewed both the Adventure series and the Classic series, and this is, like I said, the No Worries pack. So what we have here, we got 3 freeze-dried mains, 1, 2, 3. This particular one is meant to be a breakfast item. These 2 here are meant to be sort of, dinner, supper, that kind of thing. And then all the rest that we have is this snacks and drinks package that's also inside of it. So what we'll do, I guess, is we'll just open this up. It's just a big Ziploc bag. It's got these 3 pouches in it for main meals. So first of all, breakfast is going to be cocoa rice balls and fruit salad. So that sounds like it should be pretty good, I suppose. They describe it as cocoa rice balls, fruit salad smothered in a healthy soy milk, which seems kind of strange why they would choose to have soy milk powder. But anyway, that's the way they went with it. One of our main meals is a honey soy chicken, which is also gluten-free. And our last main meal is sweet and sour lamb, which itself is also gluten-free. Now these mains, they're not a huge portion, so you'll see it make a little less food than what you're probably used to for, say, any sort of Arctic field ration from Norway, or even sort of a mountain house ration, that we'd find in an LRP or an MCW from the United States. These don't make a huge portion, but it should be, just enough kind of thing. And this one takes 1 cup of water. This one takes 1 cup of water. And this one also takes 1 cup of water. So not a whole lot of water. So that should be fine. That's our 3 mains. So what we're going to do is also then take out the other part of our ration. Everything else then is contained within this very large gusseted pouch. And all we have then is just, our Ziploc bag. You can throw your refuse back into it or whatever sort of extras you have. So it's got a tear notch on it. So we'll rip that open. It's also got a zip tie inside, so if you want to hold things together like that. First off, we have a just regular spoon, so not particularly big. Got ourselves a packet of tissues. We have a chocolate soy drink, which this is kind of strange. It's actually just in like a Ziploc bag, not even in some sort of plastic or metal sort of container. It's a little weird. We've also got soy milk powder itself. I guess this is supposed to take the place of I guess, coffee creamer, I suppose. And then we've got our this little brew kit kind of thing, which comes with 2 pure Ceylon tea bags, 2 Café de Sol Supreme freeze-dried coffee. I won't be drinking that, but for those of you who know that I'm not a coffee drinker. And we've got ourselves 4 sugars. And then we've got 2 packs of salt and 1 packet of black pepper. And then we've got the rest of the food items. We've got a Dovedale ginger biscuit. That's one just very large biscuit, almost like, say, a British ORP oat block kind of thing. So this also says it's gluten, wheat-free, dairy-free. So I think this particular menu, I guess very similar to the Finnish ration that I just reviewed, is that this probably is actually made to be gluten-free, or at least mostly gluten-free. I'm not entirely sure if the breakfast would qualify for that or not. And the rest of everything in here looks like it's just in sort of like foil bags, like you see in various European rations, especially you know, Czech and Croatian, things like that. We have let's see, an orange drink mix, makes 1 liter. Pack of jelly beans, 100 grams. Packet of just straight up chocolate chunks. I don't know if it's milk or dark, but I guess we'll see. And lastly, got ourselves a packet of trail mix. So this is everything. Much like the last review I did, I think I'm just gonna take all this and prepare it all in one. It's probably the best way to go about doing it, instead of having to try to make this 2 parts, and it takes a long time for me to get from part 1 to part 2. It's just all sort of condense this into one sort of all-in kind of review. So we're gonna get the tray going now, and the first thing I guess we'll do is probably tear the tops off the main meals here and get some water ready for those, and then we'll start trying out some of the rest of the items, make the drinks, that sort of thing. So I'll be back in 1 second. So we got everything all laid out here. All of our, I guess, the items that we are going to use. I of course put the coffee back, and I'm only going to make 1 tea, and put the milk powder away, and the sugar and whatnot. I'm not gonna need any of that. I usually drink my tea black. So first thing we'll do is just sort of, I guess, start tearing the tops off these meals. Get a sense of what they look like inside. So this is our cocoa rice balls and fruit salad. That's what it looks like. So it kind of looks almost like, you know, quick cereal. Oddly enough, that in my mind when I saw that, this is not anything at all like I expected this to look like inside. It literally looks like sort of a bowl of cereal with some dried fruit in it, which should be still pretty good, but actually smells pretty nice. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. I don't really know. Yeah, I don't really know if this is meant to be eaten cold or hot, but I'm going to assume where it kind of looks like regular, just breakfast cereal. I'll probably just use cold water for this one. And it's supposed to sit for 10 minutes. Yeah, it just says to use regular water. So, yeah, we'll go ahead and do that. We'll open up the gusset on the bottom of this. Don't really want this tipping over. Just give that a stir. Yeah, it's got that soy milk powder in it. That sort of was in the same sort of pouch that came in the drink mix. So we'll stir this up a little bit more off camera, and then come back for the rest of the main items. So we've got that all stirred up now. It's just going to sit there. So what we'll do next is tear the tops off these, put a cup of boiling water of each one, and let those sit for a little while. Now, while those main items are getting reconstituted and basically cooking through, they're going to take about 8-10 minutes, that kind of thing. I guess the next thing we'll do is probably get our drinks going. So we've got a cup of tea, and we're going to have our orange drink, and also we're going to try this chocolate soy drink thing. So we got some glasses here and some cold water. Obviously, we're going to need hot water for our tea. This just looks like your sort of standard tea bag. I'll go get some water for that. All right, we're going to use cold water, I think, this time to make our drink mix. Sometimes I like to use warm, sometimes I like to use cold. I think we'll try this one with cold today. Who knows, it could be a mistake. I'm still just sort of perplexed as to why this is just in like a regular Ziploc bag with some stickers on it. They didn't have like individual packages for these or anything, but anyway, just seems kind of strange to me. And we'll mix up some of our orange drink. There is a little tear notch there. This does make a liter, so that glass can't hold a liter. So we won't use all of this. It's got a pretty good, fairly natural kind of orange look to it. Give that a stir. Seems to be dissolving pretty well, actually. Surprisingly. It's got a very strong tang kind of smell, I guess is the best way to put it. It smells actually almost exactly like tang, which is a good thing for some if you actually like that. And I'm usually a fan of that taste. And we'll give our chocolate drink a stir. See if we can't make a bit of a mess here on the table. Still going to be a few lumps there, but we'll let that sit for a little while longer. Obviously, since that's soy milk, it's not going to look exactly perfect. It looks very sort of, I guess, granular, I suppose is the best way to put it. But hopefully the taste is okay. I guess while we're waiting for everything else to sort of get reconstituted, we'll unpack everything else. So we've got our ginger biscuit here by Dovedale. I don't know if that's a address that's from New Zealand or if that's from Australia. I'm going to assume it's New Zealand, seeing that the majority of all this is from New Zealand. Remember, this is just one single ginger biscuit. Very dense. Has an incredibly strong natural ginger smell, so that should be pretty good. We'll open up our packet of chocolate chunks. And these just kind of look like, I guess, rosettes that are a little bit rounded, I suppose is the best way to put them. They're not quite milk, but they're not overly dark either. They're probably, sort of a good mix in between. Got this jelly bean pack. We'll open that up. Move this back so we can make room for some of the other stuff, the trail mix. And this literally is just a pack of assorted jelly beans. All kinds of different colors and hopefully flavors, although they could be just sort of those generic jelly beans that all have that same, sugar taste. And then we get our trail mix. And that is a very large portion. So just to consult the package again, just to tell you what's in here, we've got chocolate chunks and raisins and apricots, banana chips, sultanas, coconut chips, and pumpkin seeds. And as you can see, there's I guess, ample amounts of all of them, aside from the chocolate chunks, but that's really not a big deal because we've got a whole section of them right here anyway. So with all that said, guys, this is looking like a pretty good overall kind of ration. I know it's not a military ration. It's meant to be a, going out hiking or camping kind of thing. But there's a lot of comprehensive items here. You're sort of running the gamut, as it were. You're getting a lot of your sweets kind of thing for your energy, but there should be a fair amount of protein in this as well. And a good sort of nice collection of drinks as well. While the main two, I guess, hot mains are getting ready, let's try out our breakfast item, our cocoa rice balls and fruit salad. So, like I said, this sort of has almost like a breakfast cereal kind of look to it. And luckily, these pouches have this second tear notch because this spoon isn't particularly large. So I'm not real keen on getting my hands rotten trying to eat this. So we'll tear this off on the second strip. Try to eat from there. I have a feeling that second tear notch is going to be problematic later for trying to get the hot drinks out, or the hot meals out. I can envision, I guess, a big mess is the best way to put it. So yeah, this has kind of gotten a little bit mushy. You can see these big pieces of fruit. It's supposed to be, let's see, papaya, pineapple, guava, and yeah, well, we got two types of papaya. We've got pineapple, red papaya, guava, and yellow papaya. And there is sort of an ample amount of all of it in there. And this is sort of taking on a nice sort of milky kind of look. Let's get a nice big spoonful now and give this a taste. See what it's like. That is surprisingly delicious. It doesn't really taste exactly like quick. It's not nearly as sweet as that. It does have a little bit of a cocoa flavor. But, yeah, it's almost... I don't even know how to describe it, actually. I was going to say it's almost like corn pops, but hey, these are made of rice balls, so it's not the same thing. But it has a sort of consistency and texture, like, say, breakfast cereal corn pops would have, but yet it's a rice ball. And, yeah, that dried fruit's really nice. It's not too hard. Those fruit pieces are actually freeze-dried. So it gives a nice sort of texture combination along with the cereal. Because you let it sit in the liquid like that, the cereal does get a little tiny bit mushy, but then you still keep that texture by eating the freeze-dried fruit. Wow. Yeah, I'm incredibly impressed by that. That is fantastic. I wish I could just sort of sit down and eat the rest of this now. But we kind of got to get to everything else first. Like I said, it's not too sweet, which is good because you're going to be getting a lot of sugar out of some of the rest of these items. So you don't want something like that to be really sickly, because it'll kind of turn you. You won't feel compelled then to eat things like this. It's a nice, subtle, subdued sweetness. Just a little hint of cocoa. That's also not overpowering. And the best thing about all of it is those pieces of freeze-dried fruit. They give that nice sort of crunch, almost like the old brown bag MREs would give you those sort of square slabs of freeze-dried mixed fruit or peaches or pears or whatever. That's fantastic. I guess... we'll give one of our drinks a try, I suppose. Let's give our orange drink a try. Like I said, it smells just like Tang, and let's see if it actually tastes just like it. Oh yeah, like it's literally just, I guess, the New Zealand version of Tang, which is fantastic. It's got I guess as the name implies, it's got a little bit of a tang to it. It's not quite sour. It's not overly sweet. It's just it's absolutely perfect. I'm sure if you need your thirst quenched on a nice warm day on a hike, that would be absolutely perfect. The hot chocolate's taken on a bit of a weird kind of foam on top. Let's give that a try. And of course, remember it's used with cold water, so it's not actually, I guess, hot chocolate. It's more of just a cold chocolate drink. But anyway, we'll try it, see what it's like. Yeah, I don't know if I made a mistake by using cold water or not, but that has almost no chocolate flavor whatsoever. I know it's supposed to be soy milk too, but it's a little tiny bit disappointing. I don't know if I just used too much water or what, or if by using hot water it would sort of really, bring the flavor out. But that's mildly disappointing, I guess, is the best way to put it. Don't really want to eat our dessert before we have our main meal, but let's try out this trail mix first, I guess. So we've got some sultanas and raisins and pieces of banana chips, and pumpkin seeds, and chocolate, and all that kind of stuff, and coconut. So yeah, let's give this a try, see what it's like. That would be absolutely perfect if they didn't actually have the chocolate in there. I'm a little bit wary now of actually eating this. The one chocolate chunk I had in that mouthful kind of actually tastes like it's gone off. It is a little bit off-putting. It's almost like the chocolate's gotten slightly rancid. I don't really remember actually what the date of all this stuff is, how old it's supposed to be. But who knows? Maybe it's been exposed to heat at some point, or too much heat, or whatever. But the rest of the items are absolutely perfect. The sultanas and the raisins are nice and plump. The fruit pieces are perfect, not too sweet. Banana chips are just like sort of any other banana chip you've ever had before, and the pumpkin seeds and the coconut give a nice sort of texture change and a little bit of richness. So it's absolutely fantastic. Aside from, like I said, these chocolate chunks that are in here, and they look exactly the same as the ones that come in the package, and that's not a good sign, because yeah, that wasn't pleasant at all. Everything else tasted fine until I really sort of bit into the chocolate, and then all of a sudden you get that weird sort of feeling in your mouth of, yeah, the oils in this are gone a little bit bad, which is sort of disappointing. I guess now we'll go try our two main meals. So I'll go find those now and see how they're looking, and come on back to you. All right, so we got our two mains here. We've got our sweet and sour lamb, and we've got our honey soy chicken. So these also have those dual bottom tear notches. So we'll try to get this one first. Hope that we don't get too much of a mess trying to remove it. Oh, that worked out a lot better than I anticipated. So we'll give this one a try first. So it's supposed to be a mix of, veggies and whatnot. And these pieces here are supposed to be chicken. Got a little bit of a spongy kind of look to it. It almost has that sort of look as the chicken that you would find in, say, Norwegian real meal Arctic field rations. But this has a lovely sort of, Asian-inspired sauce, some sort of, teriyaki kind of thing. And we've got a lot of peas and carrots and pieces of red pepper and whatnot. And these sort of big chunks of what is supposed to be chicken, I guess. We'll see if it actually is. So let's give this a try. It looks really good. I think I used the exact perfect amount of water. I didn't quite put 250 mils in there because I know you like the air on the side of caution. I don't want this to be sort of too soupy. But this looks like I probably used the perfect amount. For a freeze-dried meal, it's got a lovely sort of vibrant, fresh flavor. You can really, really taste the peas. The peas really come through if you're someone who likes that flavor, and I do. You can certainly taste the carrot. And that sauce that's in there is nice. It's not too salty. It's not too sweet. It's not too sour. It's supposed to be considered spicy, but I don't really pick up that. And the chicken's not too bad. It's, like I said, it looks like it's a little bit spongy, and it feels like it's a little bit spongy. But it does actually taste like real chicken. So we'll go back and do one more spoonful, and then we'll try the next one. And we got our sweet and sour lamb. And we'll do the same thing. We'll try to tear it off and not make too much of a mess. Once again, that worked pretty well. And this has a, I guess, vaguely similar look to it compared to our last main. Instead, this has got pieces of what's supposed to be lamb, which has that same sort of shape and look, that sort of rectangular, square, sort of spongy kind of look. And we've got ourselves rice and carrots and peas. The sauce has a different smell altogether. It is very reminiscent of, I guess, like if you had sweet and sour meatballs or something like that. It does certainly have a sweet and sour flavor to it, or at least smell, I suppose. I don't know what the flavor's like yet. But let's give this a try. See if the nice smell matches the flavor. It's okay. It's got like a slightly watered down kind of sweet and sour flavor. So it doesn't really hit you over the head. It's not pungent in any way. The lamb, I don't know, I'm not really tasting it. There's not much of a sweet and sour flavor, but that's about the only flavor you're getting in here. I'm not really tasting the peas. I'm not really tasting the carrots. I mean, I know it's mixed well. It's been sitting well. But, yeah, I guess it's kind of just ho-hum, you know. Out of the 3 main meals, I would certainly put this one at the bottom. Not to say that it's bad. It's just, it's a little bit bland. And it's, I guess, my least favorite of these 3. Now, just to do a little bit more palate cleansing, I guess, we'll try our tea now next. So it's mixed pretty well. Oh, and that's a lovely black tea. Almost no bitterness to it at all. Very mild. It's a nice breakfast kind of tea, actually. So that will go well with the main breakfast sort of meal. We don't really have a whole lot left, I guess. We got our, I guess, desserty items, I suppose. It's the last thing we'll do. Got our ginger block. Okay, it's very dense, and it sort of crumbles apart as opposed to snaps, I guess. Try to get a look at the cross section there. It really is an awful lot like an oat block. So yeah, let's give this a try. Yeah, I don't know if that's supposed to be like that or not, but oh, I've never eaten drywall before, but I'm going to assume this tastes just like ginger flavored drywall. The minute I bit into it, if there was no crispness to it whatsoever, it didn't seem fresh, and you just chew it up a little bit, and it just becomes this kind of glue paste in your mouth. With I guess what you would probably describe as a nice sort of natural ginger flavor. But yeah, just that whole texture and everything just really detracts from. I'm gonna have to find some way to wash that out of my mouth. Oh, that orange drink's only able to do so much. I guess we'll go to the jelly beans next. Now, as time is going on, I'm really getting that sort of same feeling I was getting from the chocolate. That sort of, this is mildly rancid kind of feeling. Just getting that sort of little bit of a tingle in sort of, I guess, the roof of your mouth and around your tongue. Yeah, it's not good. Either this is expired, which I really don't think it is. It's just maybe it was exposed to heat at some point, and some of the items just kind of went off. But let's just give our jelly beans a try now. So we got all kinds of different colors. I don't know if that translates to different flavors or not. Let's see. I think we got them all. And of course they end up on the floor. One more of those. So yeah, let's try them out and just see first of all if they actually have a sort of individual flavor. The orange one tastes like orange, so let's just see what this one might be. That one was almost like a blue raspberry bubblegum kind of mix. I'm going to assume this is lime. That could be green apple, we'll see. It's a very vibrant, but yet artificial lime flavor. So yeah, these are not too bad. They literally just taste like standard jelly beans. You hear the clicking in the background. The dog's now decided to come out and inspect the whole area. Maybe hoping to see some food drop on the floor. We'll just wait for Sonny to stop walking around. There we go. And lastly, we got these chocolate pieces. Now I'm a little bit worried compared to what the chocolate pieces were like in the trail mix. I mean, it doesn't look bad, but I guess we'll find out. Okay, at least these ones aren't rancid. They have an all-right flavor, I guess. The way I would put it is, this seems like really cheap. Much trying to pass itself off as dark chocolate. So, you know, it's like, tastes like cheap dollar store kind of dark chocolate. It's not bad, but maybe if you get like a big full mouthful of it, it actually tastes a little better. Yeah, the more one little individual piece doesn't do a whole lot. Take 3 or 4 pieces at once, and it does seem mildly better. I mean, something like this, it's going to satisfy your craving for something like chocolate. You know, if you're out for a 24-hour period and you're going to want something a little sweet, that should be enough to sort of satisfy your mind along with the jelly beans. And the trail mix is fantastic. It's like a nice premium kind of trail mix you could sort of buy anywhere. This ginger block, bad, horrid. I'm not going to take any more of that at all. That's going straight in the trash. That was either never good or it's gone very bad. And yeah, main meals were okay. This cereal was fantastic. Chicken was pretty good, I must say. It's almost neck and neck between which one I enjoyed the most. And yeah, the lamb was okay, but it wasn't crazy or anything like that. So yeah, guys, we've gone through this Backcountry Cuisine 24-hour ration pack, which was called the No Worries pack. Like I said, this I'm pretty sure is the only review of this particular type of ration on YouTube. There have been other 24-hour Backcountry Cuisine reviews before, but I think it's pretty much only Kiwi Dude has done it. So yeah, it's nice to sort of see something new like this. It's my first review of a commercial type ration, and a lot of these items, they don't seem that dissimilar, I suppose, from some of the items you would find in a regular military ration. I mean, aside from some of the snacks per se, like you're not going to find jelly beans in an American ration or a Australian ration or anything like that. And the drink mixes are pretty same. I mean, tea is tea, orange drink mix is orange drink mix. This chocolate drink thing isn't particularly good. It's probably because of the fact they're using soy milk instead of regular sort of, milk powder. So yeah, thanks a lot, guys, for stopping by. This has been a pretty interesting sort of ration to look through. Once again, I got to thank Luke for sending this along to me on a trade that we did with one another. And not quite sure what I'm going to be reviewing next. There's a lot of stuff in the collection, and trying to figure out now what sort of piques my interest the most. But I'll try to get back to you guys as quickly as I can. So, thanks a lot.